ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव। ओम गुरुदेव भगवान शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ कैलाशपति महाराज की जय। भगवान व्यास जी महाराज की जय। शंकराचार्य भगवान की जय। स्वामी चिन्मयानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी दयानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी प्रबुदानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी शुद्धानंद भगवान की जय। साध्वी आनंद ज्योति जी की जय। सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। माता पिता की जय। सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता chapter 5 and verse number 24 we have to see today. So verse number 24 says, यह अंत सुख अंतरारामः तथा अंत ज्योति एव स्यः सहयोगी ब्रह्म निवारणं ब्रह्मभूत अधिगच्छति। यो नतः यो य अंतः। यह means the one who, antah sukha, whose fulfillment is in oneself. Yah is other word and antah sukham, whose fulfillment is in oneself. Antar Ramaha, who reveals in oneself. Ramaha means revealing in oneself. The one who reveals in oneself. Tatah, so too. Yah, the one, antar jyotihi, whose mind is awake. Whose mind is awake to oneself. Antara jyotihi, sah yogi, that wise person, eva alone, Brahmada Bhutaha, being the one whose self is Brahman. Brahma Nirvanam, the freedom which is Brahman, Adhigacchati, gains. The one whose fulfillment is in oneself, the one who reveals in oneself, the one whose mind is awake to oneself, That wise person alone, whose self is Brahman, gains freedom, which is Brahman. This is the topic. The topic is oneself, knowing oneself, fulfilling oneself, the one who is fulfilled in oneself, the one who reveals oneself. There is nothing else to reveal. There is nothing other than self to reveal. The mind, the one whose mind is awake to oneself, the wise person alone, whose self is Brahman, who understands himself as Brahman, he gains the freedom. He attains the Brahman. The one who understands himself, because himself is the topic. There is no other topic. There is nothing else to discuss about. Only discussion can be of oneself. In the previous verse, Krishna talked about Karma Yogi Sukhi, the happy, cheerful person. Here we have three beautiful words to describe the wise person, of one who has knowledge of Atma, being Brahman. Antah Sukha, Antararmaha, Antaramaha, and Antara Jyotihi, the meaning of which we will see now. The Antar Sukha is the one for whom fulfillment is in oneself alone. What kind of self? The self that is Satchit Ananda, the Satchit Ananda Atma, that is Brahman. Generally, people look to situations for their happiness, which is why they have problems, which have been already pointed out. We also saw that Karma Yogi, because of his or her attitude, enjoys certain sukha. Here, knowing Atma, the person finds fulfillment in oneself. It is clear here, Bhagavan says that the enjoyment, the happiness the one is looking for is knowing Atma, the person. Knowing Atma, the person finds fulfillment in oneself. There is nothing other than oneself. Where else can you find fulfillment, in fact? Because I am fullness, I am fulfilled. You cannot say I am fulfilled because I am married. Can you say? No. You cannot say I am fulfilled because I am married, because I have a son, because I have this job, because I have this or that. If you think your fulfillment depends on such things, you will definitely find yourself in trouble sooner or later. The one who is fulfilled in one, for whom fulfillment is centered of the knowledge of I, that I is fulfillment in itself. It is fullness. It does not lack anything whatsoever. It is free from any notion, free from doership, free from any sense of limitation and imperfection. All that is there is pure consciousness, which is fullness, which is whole. The person who is truly fulfilled with this knowledge is oneself is called Antaha Sukha here. Antaha Sukha. Because this person is Anta Sukha, he or she reveals in the self. The word reveal here is used in the sense of play. People generally require lot of playthings to keep themselves in good humor, like skating rinks, theaters, a pack of cards. because you have to amuse yourself. You are always doing something. Here Krishna says that the wise person, the wise man amuses himself by himself. Nothing else is required to amuse the person. I am enough for myself to amuse myself. It is a great, great revelation. Knowing myself. There is nothing else to know other than me, myself. With the eyes open or closed, he is amused. And when he looks at his mind, he is definitely amused. Even the wise man has memories, but instead of getting into them, he is simply amused by them. The mind itself is like an amusement park. You require no one or nothing else to thrill you. Your own mind provides you different amusement. Musing and thrillers too. It has music and talk shows also. Because a wise man is amused in himself, by himself, he is called Antara Rama here. Antara Rama. Finally, the wise man is also called Antara Jyotihi, meaning mind here. Jyoti means light. Like light, the mind illumines object for you to see. Therefore, it is called Jyotihi in addition to illuminating objects. The mind is also awake to the self, and the self that puts up the seeing shows the show of division. In dream use are a dreamer, the dreaming, and the objects dreamt. In waking it is the same. The seer or knower is the self. The sight, the thought is the self, and the object of the thought, the seen, is the same self alone. The consciousness that is the self is the same knower consciousness. Just like in dream, there is nothing other than the dreamer. Even the objects are dreamer. The dream is dreamer. The dreamer is dreamer. Same way in the waking. The self alone is. The seer or the knower is the self. The sight is self. The thought is self. The object of the thought, the seen, is self alone. All knowledge implies consciousness. Every thought is consciousness. And the object of thought is not separate from this consciousness. Which is the existence, sat of everything. This knower, known knowledge difference is purely a show, a good show. And the one whose mind is awake to this Atma, who is aware, of the self, is called Antara Jyoti. The wise person, also referred to as yogi, in this verse is said to be one who is in the form of Brahman, Brahma Bhutaha, meaning one whose Atma is Brahman, the one whose Atma is no more separate from Brahman, whose very self is Brahman, and that does his wise person again. Moksha, liberation, Brahma Nirvana. Brahma Nirvana means Brahma Nirvritti, or Brahma Ananda, otherwise called moksha. The one who reveals in himself attains moksha, the Brahman. The one who is Antah Sukha, Antar Rama and Antar Jyoti, being one whose self is Brahman, Brahma Bhuta, gains moksha, freedom from sense of limitation and bondage. He doesn't have any limitation, any bondage. Till he takes himself as other than himself. Till he takes himself other than himself. Other than himself means other than Brahman. Limitations, bondage is there. The self that is Brahman is understood by this person, therefore the person is Brahman. When the person himself, the person understands the self as Brahman, himself as Brahman, attains the Brahman, the moksha. And who is this person? From verse number 22 of this chapter onward, Bhagavan Krishna has been stating, summing up his description of a sannyasi as a person who is sarva karma sannyasi, the one who renounced different form of action, not literally, but by knowledge. This is the biggest understanding. Renouncing all the forms of action, not literally, but through knowledge. Krishna used the same word, Brahma Nirvana, in the last verse of the second chapter. The person whose self is in Brahman is not deluded and being established in Brahman. Even at the end of one's life gains liberation. Such a person is called Brahma Bhuta in the present verse. One whose Atma is Brahman, free from doership and enjoyership. The person gains Brahma Nirvana, which is moksha, because the word Nirvana alone is sometimes understood as some kind of void. We use the word Brahma Nirvana. Nirvana means Ananda, freedom from everything. In the other words, the limitlessness that is one's own nature. This is to be understood. Further, Bhagavan's summary of Sarva Karma Sannyasi. In next verse, verse number 25, Bhagavan sums up the Sarva Karma Sannyasi. Labante Brahma Nirvana Mrashya Shina Kallamashah Chinna Dvedaha Yatatmanaha Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. Kshina. Kshina kalmashaha. Kalmashaha. Kshina kalmasha. Kalmasha means impurities. Those whose impurities have been destroyed. Chinna dvavidhaha. Dvidhaha. Those whose doubt. Duvidha. Kshina duvidhaha. Those whose kshina duvidhaha. Chinna duvidaha, those whose doubt have been resolved. Yata atmaha, those who have self-mastery. Sarva bhuhitehe, bhutehite, ratha, those who are happily engaged in the good of all beings. Rasayaha, sages. Rishihi, Brahma Nirvanam, liberation. Labhate, labhante, gains. Sages. Sages is the word. Sages whose impurities have been destroyed. Those whose doubt has been resolved. Those who have self-mastery and who are happily engaged in good of all beings gain liberation. In the previous verse, Krishna described the person who has already gained moksha using the word antah sukha, antaramaha, antarjyotihi. Such people are the subject of this present verse. They are called rishis, which is generally translated as sages. See, who is liberated? This is a point to be understood. There are lot of wise people who have Shabda Jnana. That is why it is always difficult to differentiate between the two. A Shabda Jnani and a Parama Jnani. There are two Jnanis also. Now, because of this modernization of education, people go through the text. They go through the text. They have the Shabda Jnana. Having Shabda Jnana and Jnana Antara. That is why Bhagavan says, Antah Sukha. They have Sukha, but Antara Sukha. Understanding the Sukha. Sukha is the topic. To self. There is no other Sukha. That is Antara Sukha. The self is Sukha. There is no other Sukha. Antar Rama, the one who reveals in oneself. There is nothing else to reveal in. Not even teaching. Teaching is only if somebody asks, okay, a wise person gives knowledge when asked for. A wise person don't speak too much. Antara Jyotihi, illumination, self-illumination. Self-illumination means the one who enlightens everything, every other thing, who knows that it is me, nothing else is there. The one who understands himself as everything. For some people, the word Rishi brings to mind an old man with a matted hair, long white beard and long fingernails, practicing extreme form of austerities. In reality, the word Rishi has two meanings. The one who keeps moving, Atathe, who does not get caught up in any one place or situation, and the one who knows, and the other one is the one who knows, Jnani, Jnanati. In the present context, the later meaning applies. So this is all for a Jnani, not a Shabda Jnani. शब्दों का ज्ञान होना हो सकता है. बहुत ऋषि, बहुत कथाकार, वार्ताकार, बहुत लोग हैं जिन्हें शब्दों का ज्ञान तो है. वो बड़े बड़े उपनिषदों के अर्थ बता सकते हैं. अर्थ बताना और अर्थ होना दो अलग है. इसके बारे में हम पहले भी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. In the present context, the later meaning applies. The one who is Jnani, Jnanati. All the teachers in the Vedas are referred to as a Rishi. These are the people who gain moksha. How does one become sage? Sage means Rishi. How does one become a Rishi? Once again we find that Krishna gives a complete description of the wise man within the verse itself. First of all, they are Kashina Kalmashaha, those for whom impurities, Kalmasa, is destroyed. Kashina, destroyed. Impurities here means ragas and dveshas. The one who have no likes and dislikes. Ragas and dveshas, likes and dislikes. The one who does not have any likes, whose likes and dislikes are gone. By living a life of karma yogi and inquiry, karma yogi and inquirer. Inquiry into self knowledge is important. Inquiry for self knowing, jigyasa. Jigyasa to know should be there. First he should be a karma yogi, then a jigyasu, and inquiry. The impurities are gone. They are also described as sarva bhuta hiterataha, those who joyously engage themselves for good of all beings. This is very important qualification for the one who wants to gain knowledge. Afterwards, of course, acting in this way becomes natural to the person. Such person observes ahimsa, non-violence, with great alertness and sensitivity. They do not hurt other persons or being in any way by word, action, or even by thought. In fact, the vow of ahimsa, not to hurt other, is the main vow a person takes when he or she takes to life of sannyasa. Which is why sannyasa gives up all competitive activity. Ahimsa. This is the main vow. I will not hurt anybody, anything. Hurt by any means, by words, thoughts, or any other form of action. Ahimsa. For in order to win or complete in anything, inquiry to another person or living is inevitable. It is inherent in competition of any kind. By taking the vow of ahimsa, the sannyasi announces to all beings that they have nothing to fear from him or her. There is no race for him. He is not in the race of any form. No competition. The word yatha manaha in this verse refer to those who have control or mastery over the organs of action and organs of perception. Such people are called chinna duvidhas. Duvidha means sanshaya, doubt. Duvidha means sanshaya, doubt. Or chinna means resolved. Chinna, resolved. Removed, uprooted. For these people, the doubts are gone. In the pursuit, doubts can take many forms, such as, is Atma limitless or limited? Is Atma eternal or non-eternal? Is Atma one or many? Is the individual Jiva different from Ishvara? Is the world real or unreal? All these doubts are gone. There is no doubt. The wise are free from such doubts, which means a lot of inquiry has been done. The concepts have been carefully analyzed and knowledge has been freed of any possible doubt. He has gained the knowledge. knowledge and freed himself from all the doubts. While the qualification given in this verse are natural to a wise person, they are means of sadhanas. All these are means of sadhanas. For the one who wants to gain self-knowledge, enjoying these virtues, people become rishis and gain the freedom they are seeking. Further, Bhagavan says in verse number 26, Kama Krodha Viyukta Nama Yati Nama Yacchetasama Abhitah Brahma Nivaranam Vratate Vaditatmanam. Kama Krodha Viyuktanam, for those who are free from desire and anger. Yata Chetasam, for those whose mind is under control. Vidhita Atmanam, for those who know the self. Yati Nama, for the sannyasis. Abhitah, for both here and in the hereafter. Brahma Nirvanam, liberation, Vartate, there is. For the sannyasi who are free from desire and anger, whose mind is under control, who knows the self, there is liberation both here and in the hereafter. Throughout Gita, there is a repeated mention of Kama and Krodha, and the need to become free from them. Those who have freed themselves from Kama Krodha are referred to here as Kama Krodha Viyuktaha. Viyuktaha, the one who are relieved from Viyuktaha, Kama and Krodha. Kama, as we see, is born of your raga dvesha. Kama is born of likes and dislikes. And Krodha is born of desires, vasanas. These two hold people under their control. Those who have freed themselves from Kama and Krodha are subject of this verse. There are few more words in this verse qualifying those who are wise. Yati means a person who is a mumukshu, who has a desire for moksha. Such a person makes proper effort, which implies yoga. In common parlance, Yati means a sannyasi, but in its true sense, it includes the karma yogi too. Everyone who is engaged in a well-directed pursuit or inquiry into the nature of oneself is a mumukshu. Those who all have understood, who have taken up self as the topic, and they have relieved themselves from all other things. The only point they have in their mind is to know self alone is mumukshu. Such a person who has his or her mind under control is called Yata Chetas. Because these people are also described here as Vidhitatmas, those who know the Atma in this compound. The word Yata indicates that they are Sarva Karma Sannyasis, those who have given up actions in terms of knowledge of the actionless self. Such people are totally free from kama and krodha, and are also free of action because of the knowledge of Atma. They know what action is now. They know who the Karta is. They have understood the Karta. The doership is gone. In all that required is knowledge of Atma. Why worry about Kama and Krodha? Is it not a waste of time to get rid of desire and anger? Why not pursue Atma Jnana straight away? The answer is that unless Kama Krodha is addressed, you cannot know Atma. Until and unless you understand Kama, desires, and Krodha. Krodha is due to unfulfillment of desires. Cannot know Atma. Once again, then what is implied here is the need for certain level of maturity and commitment to self-knowledge. For anything you want to gain, there is a commitment required. Even to gain an object, there is a commitment required. Once the commitment is total, you will gain self-knowledge. You will be Vidhita Atma. When there is nothing for you to worry about, because knowing Atma and gaining moksha are one and the same, because of the knowledge of the self that is ever free, you are liberated. The word abhitah in the verse is explained as ubhayatah, meaning in both ways. Here, while living, there is moksha for these people, and later in the hereafter also there is moksha. Knowing you are free is the greatest freedom. While living, you are liberated, you are free. This is one freedom. The second freedom is called after death freedom. In that there is no coming back to this bondage, because you are free once and for all. Once understood, there is no coming back. Some people worry about what happens after death, saying, I take so much effort and gain liberation here, but suppose I come back. If you suppose you come back, then you are still not liberated. Any supposing with reference to coming back, having gained liberation by knowledge, is totally irrelevant. There must be a nucleus of some kind for any coming back. The nucleus is the jiva, the individual, and that is what is falsified. If jiva is falsified, then where is the coming back? आपने मुझे समझा तो दिया कि रस्सा नहीं, ये सांप नहीं रस्सा है, अब मैं इसके ऊपर से निकलूंगा तो ये डसेगा तो नहीं। समझाया तो था मगर समझ नहीं आया गुरुजी। अभी भी अगर अभी भी डर है, भय है, तो समझ आया ही नहीं। किसी तरह का डाउट अगर अभी भी है तो समझ नहीं आया। फिर समझेंगे, दोबारा शुरू करेंगे। Who or what then is there to come back? Liberation having been gained, there is no one or any more to come back. Thus Krishna says that in both ways, here and hereafter, those who know Atma gain moksha. Although a twofold moksha is talked about in terms of here and hereafter, in fact there is only one. One moksha. Twofold moksha is mentioned only with the reference to this question of coming back. When you say coming back, death, after death, because once moksha is attained, there is no death. Brahman never dies, because Brahman was not born even. So who dies? I don't die. I as Brahman don't die. There is no death. There is nothing called death in knowledge. As Brahman. There are, on the other hand, people who are afraid that they will not be able to come back. They want to come back in this world. What for, I ask? So that I can accomplish something more or do something better next time. They say it means they have already concluded that they are not going to make it in this life. First, let us take care of this life. Then the next life will take care of itself. Now, introduction to meditation. There are two types of sadhana. Bahiranga sadhana, external means, and antaranga sadhana, internal means. Doing karma is doing what is to be done by you with the right attitude and following proper values. In other words, karma yoga is a bahiranga sadhana. Dhyana, meditation, here wherein the mind alone is involved, is antaranga sadhana. It can be prayer, contemplation, or any inner discipline, but it is purely internal. No limbs are involved, nor is the organ of speech. Therefore, one type of sadhana is external and the other is internal, both of which should be followed. The external means bahiranga sadhana. Take care of your likes and dislikes, because these can only be worked out through your interaction with the external world. For gaining steadiness of mind and is composure necessary to gain self-knowledge, there is antaranga sadhana, inner discipline of the meditation, which is also very important. Thus, Krishna first gives a brief account of dhyana yoga, meditation, in the next 3 verses, and then discusses it in length in next chapter. So we are on the verge of concluding jnana karma. What is the topic? ज्ञान कर्म योग संन्यास, और कर्म योग ज्ञान संन्यास. Sannyasa by jnana, not giving up actions without knowledge, giving up actions by knowledge. This is what we have just discussed. Sarva karma sannyasa, giving up actions, renouncing all actions, not literally, but by knowledge, knowing. This was the 5th chapter. Jnana, karma, jnana, sannyas. Relieving, renouncing all karmas. Now, Bhagavan introduces meditation in chapter number 6. But before introducing, we'll have 2-3 verses to begin to join the two topic. So for today, we'll do this. Tomorrow we'll do verse number 27 and 28 and 29. Tomorrow this chapter will get over, and then we will proceed to chapter number 6. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Gurubhyo Namaha.